So micro blues is an aesthetic style that usually is articulated by very small movements. It's a very intimate dance between you and your partner that's focused completely on connection. Because there are so few movements, all the movements have to be very, very intentional. So that's what this class is going to be focused on, is slowing everything that you're used to doing down a lot. Some of the other things is, although it's a style that you can dance an entire song to, sometimes there are moments in songs that are, oh, I could use some micro to this. So you don't have to dance an entire song to this. You can use this as a repertoire of, oh, I can do this for the next 10 seconds. Or I might do this to really spice up this move I'm about to do. I'm going to bring everything in really tight. Dance with my partner for these few moments, and then I can go and get big again. And the other side of that is, just because you're dancing micro for a majority of the song doesn't mean you can't add large dance moves in. So with that, we're going to play some music, or I'm going to play some music. Just so you guys can get an idea of what micro sounds like. This is all going to be fusion music. The reason for that is because I'm also DJ, and they didn't want to have to figure out which songs that I want to put in the set list. I get it. So the set tonight's going to be all blues. So some of the things that you can hear is just really low energy. There's not a lot of movement, but there's still a lot of intensity. There's that really strong right percussion just built up a little bit more. But that's what we're looking for, is music that's really low energy, but has a very intense driving downbeat, because that becomes the soul of the music, even more than it usually does. That's where all of our biggest stuff comes from as well. So this dance is mostly danced in close embrace. If you're not comfortable with close embrace, that is okay. There's still opportunities that you can do to dance. Everything that you do can be done in closed position as well. In fact, if you do it in closed position, you're not challenging your partner to dance better, because they have to listen to you a lot more intently than when you have a whole lot of connection with close embrace. So if you're not comfortable with close embrace, whether it's with anybody at all or with individuals, don't feel like you have to do that in order to do this class. There's going to be times in this class where I tell people, connect in a certain way. I cannot give consent on your behalf. That's still up to you, and it's also up to you leads especially to still ask for it. Even if the IB instructor is saying, hey, okay, everyone, connected, close embrace, it's still up to you to say, hey, are you comfortable with this specifically? Because if they're not, there are other ways that you can dance. With that said, I'm going to show you what close embrace looks like. Can I borrow you know what? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh, you're not ready? Never mind. No. Close embrace is going to look like this. I'm going to be the lead right now. If you watch our feet, they are offset, so that way when we kick forward or move, we're not going to kick each other. That's important. Our chests are connected. You can see this connection happens here. The center of my chest is about at Noah's shoulder, or my fellow's shoulder, and the same thing with Noah. The center of Noah's chest is about in line with my shoulder. You can see the leads. You're going to put your hand around the back, kind of up into the armpit. You want to keep, not like jammed up into the armpit, but kind of up higher. And I like to turn my hand around this way. The reason I do that, it's really easy for the follow to escape if I'm doing this, because I don't have a whole lot of leverage. It clues the follow in and says, hey, you're not trapped here right now. It also helps prevent, if I do this and I start concentrating, I might lose focus and start clamping down like I'm a lobster. This is a lot harder to clamp down. The same reason that we don't like to use thumbs when we're holding hands, we don't want to put our hands like this, because if you lose focus, you can really clamp down on. Some other things, you still want to make sure that you're staying upright and straight. The only difference is you're going to be leaned forward at your hip a little bit more. And the more that you're leaned forward into your partner, the stronger this connection is going to be. We can even move our feet back some and really bring this connection in and rely on each other for this connection.
Ow! What's next? Sorry, really loud.
So that's what this is going to look like. What I want everyone to do is, when I say hippopotamus, I'd like all the follows to stand on this side of the class looking this way, and all the leads to stand over here looking that way. And then you're going to connect up with the person across from you, so that in close embrace. We're just going to go through a couple times to make sure that we've all got this kind of clued in. Hippopotamus.
I can't. I got them kind of right.
No, it'll fit right in. It'll fit right in.
Perfect. We're going to set it again, so we're good. Okay, so go ahead across to your partner. You want to be pretty much toe-to-toe almost for your distance from each other. And if that's too close, you can always start moving your feet further back from each other. The connection is going to be here in your chest, primarily. So go ahead and connect. Perfect. Oh,
I was gonna fill in.
Okay, talk with your partner. You want to make sure that you're feeling that connection in your chest. It should be pretty strong. And you want to really rely on each other for that balance, but not lean it all the way into each other. If you feel like you have enough, you probably don't. Lean a little bit more into it, back your feet up a little bit. This connection is a little bit stronger than you might anticipate. Once you do that, go ahead. Leads, I'd like you to rotate towards Noah or towards the television. That's going to be the way that we rotate all night. So leads, go ahead and rotate.
I am Noah. We rotate this way. All right, and then yeah, perfect.
Go ahead, yeah, connect up to close embrace if you're comfortable with it. And talk with your partners to make sure you feel that intensity. Again, if it feels like it's enough, add a little bit more to it. More connection is not going to make the dance harder. Less connection will make the dance harder. Okay, thank you. Leads, go ahead and rotate again.
Where's the other hand?
Oh, that's right. The other hand is either connected in a ballroom position, in a blues position down here, or you don't have to connect them at all. I'm sorry, that's a good question. Okay, we're going to rotate one more time. Okay, everybody, now what's going to happen is when I say platypus, I want everyone to start dancing in a circle. We're going to do a big clockwise circle, kind of like we, if you've been here the last couple of weeks where we do warm-ups. You're going to do that in this close embrace position. So you're going to do it with your partner. The whole point of this is to get used to dancing with this and get you kind of warmed up. So platypus, if y'all will start going around that way. And then if everyone will follow the people to the television side.
Snake. The head is gonna come underneath the butt. Be prepared.
Yes, you go ahead and start dancing that big circle around the
Sorry,
whole
I just used the visual.
Oh, I'm sorry. back into the line. The follow's over there and the lead's over here. Please. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is working on slowing down some of the things that are part of the foundational series. So the primary thing is going to be spins, inside and outside turns specifically. We're going to work on slowing those down. It's something that I hope a lot of people are familiar with. If you're not, if you put your hand up after I have good instruction, and I'll come over and help you out specifically. What we're going to do, oftentimes when people do turns, they'll do them in 2 or 4 beats. We're going to do them in 8 beats. And specifically 8 beats. We're not going to do it longer than 8 beats. The reason for that, y'all are going to be in small groups. The other thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be thinking very intentionally about all the parts of our own body that we're moving and all the parts of our follows that are or your partners are going to be moving. And then after you do your turn, you're going to talk with your partner and say, hey, this is what I noticed that you moved, and this is what I noticed that I moved. And then the other one's going to do the same thing. They're going to say, this is what I noticed you moved, and this is what I noticed that I moved. The reason for that, because there are so few movements in micro, we want to make sure that every part of our body that we're moving, we're doing so intentionally. The only way we can do that is if we know what parts we're moving. So what's going to happen is, when I say the color orange, I want everyone to go into these groups. If you were born in the fall, you'll go over there. In the winter, over here. In the summer, over here. In the spring, over there. Orange.
Winter was over here.
And once you get over there, go ahead and partner up with somebody. Hopefully y'all go ahead and join with them. Okay, so if everyone will listen up, what's going to happen is you are now going to partner up with somebody. I'm going to play some music so you have a beat. Do that pulse real quick and do an inside or an outside turn. It doesn't matter. Remember, you're doing it in 8 beats. And then as soon as you finish that turn, talk with your partner. And then as soon as you've done that, rotate amongst yourselves. I'm not going to be calling out rotating. If anyone needs extra help or more instruction, so I'm going to do just put your hand up and I'll come over there. Does anyone have any questions immediately? No? Awesome. Go ahead and partner up. And music will come in the It's an inside or an outside turn. Okay. Remember, once you do your turn, talk with your partner about what you felt you moved and your partner moved, and then switch. You'll say what I moved. It's okay if you answer the same person again. We're going to do this exercise for this whole song. How was that? Is there things that you noticed that you were being more aware of, that you were thinking about what part of your body moved as you went out through the exercise?
Oh, I totally get distracted. Forget
Is there
this.
anything that, is there part of their body that people realize that they're moving that they hadn't thought about before?
I was rotating with her and making it harder for her to like fall back with me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't get that.
Not quite. I was thinking about the musical parts of your body that you're moving, not the technique of it. Okay, that's okay. Again, if we'll line back up and follows and leads over here, we're gonna start with our next exercise. So in dancing, a lot of times when we talk about our connections, a physical connection that you have with your partner, and then a connection that you have with your music a lot of times. With micro, because there aren't a whole lot of movements, one of the new ways that we're going to connect is through our breathing. This exercise is probably going to make people the most uncomfortable, not in an unsafe way. There's going to be a lot of eye contact and a lot of silence. So just be prepared with that. I know people express uncomfortability by laughing. It's okay to do that a little bit. Try not to make your partner laugh intentionally, and try to let yourself be uncomfortable instead of letting that all out. Of course, if you have to, it's no big deal. So what's going to happen, I'm going to give some instruction. We're going to connect in the three primary connections: open, close, and then close embrace. While we're doing that breathing, you're going to do it with your eyes closed when you're connected. All you're going to be doing is breathing in and out with your partner. There's not technically a specific lead or follow role, but oftentimes what will happen is the lead is going to take charge. That doesn't have to happen. Follow leads. If you notice that your follow is breathing in a different way, you can change your breath to match theirs as well. That's a way that you can say, hey, I want to connect this way, by starting to breathe with your partner the way that they're doing, instead of telling them, hey, breathe with me. The other way is you can become very intentional with your breath, and that kind of keys them in. So again, we're going to do open position, closed eyes, breathing. There's not going to be any music either. And then we're going to rotate, and then you're going to introduce yourself and then go right into closed position, breathe, and then we're going to rotate again, close embrace. And then I'm going to give instruction for a fourth kind of connection. Are there any questions about what we're going to be doing? Great. It's going to be about 60 seconds. It's going to feel really long. I might make it shorter depending on how it takes. So go ahead and connect with the person across from you. Yes, open position first. There's not going to be any music, so go ahead and start breathing with your partner. I might end up playing music. Actually.
Girl, it's something like a poison. The way you hit, you got me frozen. I love you. You say you hate me in the morning. Could take my life without a warning. But I know it ain't true. 'Cause I'm addicted. The taste of your blood red lips. You sink in your fingertips. I'm tired in the noose when I'm with you. I could never let you. My words to say you can. She don't need no sugar.
Okay, leads, go ahead and rotate, introduce yourself, get in the closed position, and then start breathing.
Right here. I don't know how you're breathing.
Try to touch you, but you can't fall. My own American psycho. You're the girl that takes me so high. Lights go down and you baby. You can find her on the wall, babe. She's not the same in the daylight. But I'm addicted. The taste of your blood red lips. You sink in your fingertips. I don't want the truth when I'm with you. I could
Please go ahead and rotate. And now we're going to be in close embrace. Leads, go ahead and rotate and then separate from each other. So the next connection is going to be what's the easiest way to get into it is just do closed position and then drop your arms and everything. You're not going to be touching. You're going to be using eye contact for the next 30 seconds to connect with your partner. Still doing the breathing. You're probably going to need to open your eyes for this one in order for the eye contact. If you really can't do eye contact, that's okay. I recommend looking at forehead, nose, cheeks, or behind them. I know eye contact can be really uncomfortable. If it's something that you think you can bear and want to push yourself, of course try to push yourself. If it's not something that you can do, understand. Yeah.
Pretty close position or close in?
You just want to be about a foot apart from each other. You want to be pretty close to each other. Try not to breathe like directly into their face. Maybe breathe to the side. But we are not physically connected with each other. We're going to do this with a couple of partners.
Are we starting?
Yes. If it feels too close, you can back up. The goal is to breathe together through eye contact.
I feel like someone's gonna look away until you do it.
Please go ahead and rotate. We're going to do this again.
So you need to back up me. I can't do it. I'll die.
Please go ahead and rotate.
Don't want to stare
Please go ahead and rotate one more time.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody. You guys can thank your partner and then separate. Thanks. Or you guys can shake it out. I'm not doing anywhere eye contact.
Look at the floor the rest of the night.
And no looking at anybody
No
ever
more social
again.
interaction for the whole week.
No, so the next thing that we're going to work on is intentional stillness. There's a huge difference between not moving and then choosing to stay still. Go if I can borrow you.
Yes.
So if we are dancing and then someone says, okay, stop dancing, we might do something like this. We've broken our frame, we're not really connected, we're not dancing to the music, we just stopped to do something else. When we are being intentionally still, I might be dancing and I'm gonna hold everything. So I'm keeping the same frame, you guys can't feel it, I still got a lot of intensity, I'm still connected very firmly to Noah, and making sure that we are staying together. I even keep my feet in the same position where I decided to stop them, whereas I have one up. Intentional stillness is a really great way to slow your dance down, to really say, hey, the thing that we're going to be doing is staying right here and connected to this. We're going to do this right now. Thank you. One of the ways to make that really good, just like if you take a deep breath in and then hold it, you can hold it for much longer than if you just all of a sudden have to hold your breath. If you have a very good connection and a very good solid pulse, you can hold that stillness a lot longer because you're not pulsing through that stillness. Otherwise, it's not very still. So that's the thing that you're going to want to work on in this exercise is getting that pulse very defined, and then holding everything, and then doing it a couple times. So we'll do that a couple times with each partner, and I will be calling out the rotations. And if you all do that with close embrace if you're comfortable, or close position if you're not. Are there any questions about that? Yes.
Eye space. Could you demonstrate?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. With me? Oh, okay.
Or do you want to watch with that? So this is what's going to happen. Let me turn the music up a little bit. So we are going to be dancing. We're doing this pulse. Whereas usually my pulse is a little bit light because I know I'm going to be doing some stillness. I have a very strong pulse, which isn't something that you can see. And then when the music calls for it, we're probably not in this situation. I'm going to stop moving. And I'm holding this space here. We might breathe together, we might not. I like to come back into movement by starting the breathing first. I'll kind of stack movements together. So that's what it's going to look like. Thank you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The only reason I'm doing a demonstration of this dance is really small. The micro part kind of gives that away. So it's usually not, but absolutely, if anyone needs to be demonstrated something or understand something more, just ask. I'm happy to show you. Are there any other questions? Great, leads on that side. No, I'm sorry. Follows on that side, leads on this side. Go ahead and connect with somebody. I'm going to turn the music up some.
Have a drink for me then. People I know, here and now. Calling out for something real. 'Cause all I know.
I'm probably going to rotate everybody about 20 to 30 seconds from how much we did the last exercise for, so you can get an idea of how long we have with this part.
It's how you believe in me. If I hold to you, then I can't hold on for you. If I hold.
Leads, go ahead and rotate.
I'll just follow it.
for you. Heaven alone, I will never know what you only want me from the start, but I'll never start holding on to you. Tonight.
And Lee, go ahead and rotate. Lee, go ahead and rotate. Actually, I'm kidding. Go ahead and separate. So yeah, that's intentional stillness. That's a really good thing that you can use, especially in micro blues, but don't feel like you can't use that in any other blues that you're doing. It's great for musical stops to also stop your dance. And it feels so much better than instead of just relaxing and be like, okay, let's see when the music starts, holding that same position and even breathing with your partner. Just like I said before, all of the things that you learn in micro especially, but really any kind of aesthetic blues, you can use with any other style that you're dancing as like little sprinkles. So the next thing that we're going to do is solo movements. This is going to be the longest part of the class. The first thing we're going to do is solo isolations by ourselves to get comfortable with moving our own bodies in ways that you might not be familiar with, and then we're going to do that with a partner. So we're just going to do with one song, you're just going to do some solo movements, and there's not a whole lot of instruction outside of that. If you would like some, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more.
And go.
It's like, all right, dance. No, so we are going to do isolations. The way that I think about isolations is thinking about body zones. So I've got my arm, but I also have the different parts of my arm. I've got my torso, which is part of my arms are part of, or my upper torso, which my arms are part of, but can also be moved separately. I've also got my hip and stomach area. Sorry, this is chest, not torso. Hip and torso area, which you can move by itself as well. And then you've got your legs and your feet. So those are different kind of like body zones that you can move. So what I want you guys to focus on is you're not dancing so much as you're working through how can I move this part of my body separate from everything else. And then you can also try stacking, moving two different parts of your body at the same time, but not with each other. So if anyone needs any more instruction after that, I'm happy to come over and help you while the music is playing. Are there any questions about what we're doing immediately though? No? Great. If you need help, just put your hand up, I'll come over to you. If you need to, you can turn around so you don't see anybody. Or you can look at your feet. Yeah, you can use these as mirrors. You can look at your feet. Just be careful that you don't collapse on yourself looking down at your feet. You want to stay hold your nose position.
I'm in complete control. That's why I tell myself I got a mind of my own. I'll be alright alone. Don't need anybody else. I gave myself a good talking to. No, I'm being a fool for you. I remember how you make me want to surrender. Damn your eyes. They're taking
kind of bring it extra level. Now I'm dancing at a lower level. I'm dancing at a higher level right here. It's kind of, I think that is adjacent to isolation because you're isolating the space that you're taking up. So try to play that into your isolations as well if you want to.
Again in my hopes up high, making me fall in love again. There go I, fall completely under your spell. There go I, taking my breath away, making me wanna stay. There go I, again in my hopes up high, making me fall in love again. There go I.
All right. So now what we're going to do is a similar exercise with partners. It's going to be a little bit more structured. What I want you to do is what's going to happen first. Leads are going to, you're going to do your pulse. You're going to connect in close brace or close position. You're going to get your pulse established. And then the lead is going to introduce a singular isolation movement. So a good example is I'm going to bring my arm up. And you're going to kind of be repetitive about it because the point is to get your follower to pick up on what you're trying to isolate. And then once that's picked up, follows, once you feel like you're doing what the lead is doing, you're going to add your own isolation to it as well. So there'll be two isolations going on at the same time. And once you both feel like you've got that established, you're going to break those isolations. You can even separate a little bit if you need to, shake it off, connect back again, and then you're going to reverse. Follow's going to introduce something first, and then the lead's going to introduce something, and then you're going to rotate. I'm going to give you all about 20 to 30 seconds, so that gives you an idea. Probably closer to 20 seconds, 15 or 20 seconds. Gives you an idea of how long you have to establish everything before you rotate to the next person. Are there any questions about this? Yes?
Just to clarify, the point is not to follow your partner's isolation. The point is to detect it and then have your own isolated movement as well. Yes?
Sorry, no, I'll clarify, not quite. You got everything else right, but it is also you're gonna follow the other isolation.
Okay.
So if I'm doing, no, do you mind?
Yes.
So if we are doing this, I'm gonna try to do a really big one so everyone can see it. Okay, so if I'm doing this, where I'm bringing my shoulder up, like this, can everyone see that? I'm maybe like this. So this is my isolation. I'm gonna be doing this until Noah establishes another isolation as well. And I won't make you do it right now.
You did start. You did a hip wrestling.
Oh, I did not, oh.
I will have.
I was like, yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was in the
Back to that class, we're aware of everything that's moving.
Yeah.
So the goal is to follow what your partner is leading, and then once you've got that, add your own. So there should be two happening at the same time. Both of you doing both isolations. And then I suggest breaking your connection completely, shaking it off, and then doing it again. The follow is going to initiate the first one, and then the lead's going to initiate one. Yes?
So the lead won't necessarily have to respond to when the follow's response.
No, the lead will then pick up on the follows and do the follows as well.
Okay, so they'll send
Yeah.
they'll send it.
Yeah, so I'll back up a little bit. One of the things in micro, because there's still few movements and because it's so intimate with your partner, the boundary between lead and follow really gets shaded over. So there's a lot of situations where, especially as the lead, this will be uncommon to you. If you feel that your follow is doing something, follow it. Don't just think, oh, I'm the lead, I'm the only one that's going to be saying things. If your follow is doing something, do that with them. That's going to make the dance so much more intimate because instead of you talking, you're now listening as well. So this exercise is going to kind of help with that as well. Are there any more questions? Yes?
What happens if your follow is like a little bit spastic?
I'm not talking about anyone specific.
I'm asking for a friend.
You can let your friend know that it's okay. If it's difficult or strange, we're going to have some time to work it out. And if you never get to it, that's okay. You can still dance this dance. You can tell them that they can still dance this dance.
I'm glad you clarified.
Right. When you go home and then you call them on the phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and get connected.
We're finally teaming.
You might have to talk about as another level of connection that you can have in this dance. It's going to be a little bit difficult for me. And then I'm going to actually just play a whole song, and you're going to have an opportunity to dance for free, kind of like a social dance, because we've only got 7 more minutes. So this is called a leg embrace or a leg connection, whereas the follow is usually the lead is usually the one that's asking, are you okay with close embrace or doing that verbal ask. This one usually falls on the follow to say, hey, are you okay with a leg connection? And that's gonna look a little bit difficult. I am just squeezing Noah's knees with my knees. So I have to come a little bit closer and I lean a little bit harder into it. And all it is just a little light squeeze so that way I can tell where Noah's legs are. And now we're connected here at our legs as well. We're usually in close embrace. We're kind of like this, and it's just over our chest, and then at our hips we're broken. This one is going to bring those legs a lot closer together, and I might even be squatted down a little bit more. And then as I rotate, I'm still keeping my knees connected. This is just another way that we can connect, and usually happens just with micro because there's so few movements. You don't have to worry about, oh, can I keep this connected while we're moving across the floor or anything like that. It's just another way to, thank you, to connect with more of your body with your partner. Again, whereas leads are the ones asking, are you okay with close embrace? The follows are usually the ones that are gonna ask for and initiate that leg embrace, just because it's so much more contact. That way it makes sure that both people are really in tune. They say, yeah, I really do wanna do this style of dance with you. I do wanna connect with this much of my body with you. So with that, make sure you're doing that verbal ask. I'm gonna play music, and I will call out rotations, but there's no more instruction. It is just practicing all the different things that we just did in this class. Since there wasn't a whole lot of dancing, there was a whole lot of exercises for this class. Are there any questions for what I just talked about? If you have any questions about the class as a whole as you're dancing, you can put your hand up and I'll come over and I will help you with any part that we went over today. Yes?
I forgot, the question I have is, who initiates the leg piece?
Usually it's the follow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the lead can do it, but this way it keeps that communication a little bit
A
more.
verbal initiative.
Right, a verbal initiation.
Yeah,
It can
like,
be, hey, are you
want
okay with
to-
this? Instead of the lead just assuming, oh yeah, I can touch my partner with my entire body, because your hips are gonna get very close. So that's the only way, reason that with both of these is usually a verbal act. Whereas a lot of this other dancing, we're far enough apart that everyone knows that this is gonna kinda happen when you're dancing. Both that close embrace and especially that leg embrace, you're so close to another partner, some people just aren't gonna be comfortable with it.
And it's best to check in with the follow.
Best to check in, it's always best to check. You can't verbally ask someone too much how much they're comfortable dancing, yes.
So unless we hear from the follow, as a leader, I'm just gonna continue doing my close embrace dance.
You can continue doing your close embrace. You can ask if you want to. Maybe if someone that's not used to this style of dance can say, hey, are you okay if our knees are connected? And you can show them if they're unsure what it is, and then they can decide, oh, you know what, I'm not really comfortable with this much dancing.
You meant to add something?
Yes, please.
Just so you're aware, before that dance, before you're even in that situation, it is safe to assume that you will, hopefully just based off how the community, kind of around the community, you've already asked, you've already set the tone, you already know that you can go in the close embrace, you can do leg embrace, and even on that moment, what he's saying is, it's still, if the lead is still gonna do the 80%, you still wanna do that 20%, to actually connect that way.
6%.
Yeah. Max.
But yeah.
Okay, with that, go ahead, follow the, actually, you're all put together. What's gonna happen is, as we're rotating, I'll call it leads to rotate, follows if you just put your hand up, it'll make it easier for people to rotate. Go ahead and connect the dance.
No, I didn't squeeze. Who initiated? Who does the squeezing? Do I do the squeezing?
You would be squeezing your you would be squeezing his legs. I mean, it's kind of both. You're gonna start squeezing his, and then you can also squeeze the legs. So it's gonna be a kind of
Oh, gonna take a little time, but with you by my side, I won't let go till I've got what's mine. 'Cause people come and go, but you just know that I'll take it slow.
Please go ahead and rotate, follow them, you put your hands up.
It's gonna take a little while. Now that you're here, it's gonna take a little while.
And thank you, everybody. You guys said right here. So that is the end of the class. That was micro blues on, oh no.
Partner up it.
We're gonna do the whole thing again, everybody. That was micro blues. Thank you guys so much. Again, my name is Al. If you want to dance this dance, you're free to feel free to come and ask me. I'm also going to be DJing tonight, so a lot of music is going to be over that. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Savannah.
Thank you so much,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes.
Was this a one-night lesson or is this an ongoing lesson?
This was a singular class. Okay. Yeah, this is not part of our progressive series. We may be teaching a micro progressive series later, but that was not what this was. This was just an isolated
Taster.
Little
And
taster.
isolation class?
Isolated incidents.